So, on Omar Marmoush, and thank you for your patience as we get to this point. According to Bild, Liverpool have officially registered their interest in Omar Marmoush. Liverpool have approached the player and management directly, and they're now aware of their intentions of signing him. Now, that's a big call from Bild, right? And it follows on from, I think, Florian Plettenberg and others speaking about Liverpool's interest in Omar Marmoush. But what I don't know the answer to, and I think it's a perfectly reasonable question for anyone to ask, is what does that mean for the players at the club? Is he looked at only if Salah goes? Is he looked at if Darwin or Jota doesn't work out? I don't know. That I can't give you the answer to because I really don't know. But I'm happy with the link. I'm happy with the calibre of the player. As David Lynch said earlier on when we spoke, he's playing at a higher quality league than the likes of Gyökeres, who has done it in the Championship, he's done it in the Portuguese league, but doing it in the Bundesliga in Germany, I'll be very happy if we sign Marmoush. Again, we spoke about his star rising in Egypt as well as home country, where they're all tuning in to watch his games, much like Mohamed Salah. I'm sure if we needed any type of what's the word I'm looking for here? If we needed any type of reference, I'm sure Mohamed Salah would be very quick to talk to Arne Slot about the positives of Omar Marmoush as well. So, thinking about this, right, and I'm going to be blunt because that's the only way I operate. If I was a Liverpool fan right now and Omar Marmoush was going to come in and I had to pick who we'd replace, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say Jota. And here's why. Not because I don't think Diogo Jota is a good footballer. Not because I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. It's the stop-start nature of the injuries. So I think he's missed about 101 or 102 games in 6 years for club and country, Diogo Jota. Something like 400 and something days out. So for that reason, he would be the one for me that I would look to potentially sell. I'd keep Darwin. I'd put Mo on a new deal. And if we needed to sell somebody, it would be Jota for me. Just for the reasons I've said. Not because I don't rate him, because I do. But I got to be honest, those injuries, you can never go into a season thinking you're going to get 30, 35 league games out of Jota. And you need that consistency for me in your attack. So, as I said, I don't know how it pans out with regards to our forward line. But if I was looking at it, I'd be looking to maybe look to cash in on Diogo Jota because of the inconsistencies around injuries. And that's the only reason why. So, I'm going to start another poll now to speak about Marmoush and who you think may have to make way. I just don't know how to word it, but that's going to be the next poll. I'm going to speak about our attackers and I'm going to ask, if we had to lose a player to sign Marmoush, who would you sell? Or who would you let go, I guess? David Massett said, and thank you David for your super chat, it's a pity about Jota, our most natural finisher. He's a fantastic forward and he's a really intelligent footballer. It's just the injuries for me, and that's it. It's just relationships on the pitch are so important, and not being able to have a consistency of selection for the big games because of the little injuries he picks up. Some of them just really unlucky, by the way. People falling on him in challenges and stuff like that. Like, he's out now because somebody fell on him. It's not because his hamstring went. It's out because he's got bruised ribs because somebody fell on him. Right, so I'm going to say, who would you move on in order to get Omar Marmoush? Because I think we'll all admit that if we do look for Marmoush or any other forward, it will probably be because Liverpool expect or want to move somebody on. So I'm going to give you 4 options and say, who would you move on to get Marmoush? Are we going for Marmoush? I'm thinking more and more as each day goes by that it's... Now, this is my personal opinion for a second, right? Don't take this as me saying this is from a journalist or anything. My personal opinion is, yes, I think we've a sincere interest in Omar Marmoush. And anybody who I've spoken to about the idea in a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Vague sense, has said yes, that the Marmoush interest is there. Now, interest is one thing, but does that lead on to a bid? I don't know that. But I feel like there's a very good chance that Marmoush is somebody we're considering strongly. So, if you said to me now, here's 50 quid, do you think the club are going to pursue Marmoush? I would probably say yes. But I don't know under what circumstances. I don't know if it's because we don't agree an extension with Mohamed Salah. I don't know if it's because the club feel that Darwin or Jota or somebody else may move on. That I don't know the answer to. Do you think we lack creativity up front? Because if we have no Salah, I find we bet on moments of brilliance to bail us out. Look, no Salah in any team you're gonna see a bit of a drop off, but I think we showed again last night that we have strength in depth as well. You know, we seen Cody Gakpo start on the left last night and grab himself 2 goals, 2 brilliant goals. Then we seen Lucho move from the right over to the left. Then later in the game, he grabbed himself a goal as well. So I wouldn't say we don't have creativity. No, I think we do. I think there's one position that's still sort of up for grabs, and that's through the centre. And I don't think, like, if I said to you, pick the starting 11 for Liverpool right now, everybody's fit, pick your best 11, I'm guessing it would look something like Alisson, Trent, Robbo, or Costas maybe, Kanade, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah. You would probably debate on the left side between Diaz and Gakpo, and then through the centre, probably debate between Darwin and Jota. So I think the left is a debate for a different reason, because we've 2 high calibre players that can play on that side. But centrally, I don't think anybody's grabbed the opportunity by the scruff of the neck and made that position their own yet. So I think that one is still somewhat up for grabs. Most you'd spend for Marmoush. I think in pounds, I would be confident somewhere around £45 million. Somewhere around that for Omar Marmoush, I think would be enough. So we did ask, who would you move on in order to get Omar Marmoush? And so far, 44% of you guys are saying Diogo Jota. 36%, now 35%, back up to 36%, back down to 35%, back up to 36%, are saying Darwin Núñez. So we'll leave that poll up for a while longer. If you can, please do vote, because we'd love to get as big a sample size as we can here. Samuel said, nah, with this poll. Well, I'll give you context on the poll, Samuel. So the context is about Liverpool's interest in Omar Marmoush. And I think most of us would agree that if we signed any forward, be it Omar Marmoush or somebody else, that it's because somebody has left or is going to leave, or the club is concerned about somebody leaving. So the reason we put the poll up was to ask people, if you were in charge and Marmoush was coming in, who would you be looking to move on? Or who do you think maybe should make way for that space in the squad? That's it, mate. There's no underhanded thought process or anything there. And I'll be honest, my answer was Jota. That was my answer, because I think you can't count on Diogo Jota to be fit for a season. You know, you want continuity and consistency in your main partnerships around the pitch, your centre backs, your midfielders, and certainly in the forward line as well. And I don't feel that any of us could guarantee we'd get 30 league games out of Diogo Jota in a season. So for that reason, he was my answer. The results are that with 38%, Diogo Jota is the one that you guys would most likely move on. And now, of course, there is more context in this as well. If you're moving on Salah, well, you're probably losing them on a free. So you're not bringing the club in any money. So I think maybe people have looked at it and thought, well, if Jota left, Liverpool will get a transfer fee there, and that might help as well. So maybe that added to it, I don't know. So yeah, it was Diogo Jota with 37%. Actually, Darwin on 37% as well. So tied between Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez. 19% for Mohamed Salah and 5% for Luis Diaz. So yeah, there you go. Sam Lewis said, it's clear that Darwin isn't good enough to win the Champions League with. I don't know how it's clear. Again, I really don't, because last year we weren't in it, and this year we are, and we've won 3 from 3. Now, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying I don't know how we can sit here and say it's clear we wouldn't win a Champions League with them. You know, go back and look at teams that have won European Cups, and there's been far worse players than Darwin in them. What I would say is we haven't seen any type of a prolific spell yet from Darwin Núñez, which, you know, is probably where you're going with it.